Hello, and thank you for joining our webinar entitled Back to Security School. The single pane of glass is dead. Long live the single pane of glass. As organisations around the world see a noticeable increase in Apple technology within their enterprise, maintaining the corporate security posture clearly comes to mind. Established thinking and strategies with their foundations in non-Apple operating systems may fail to meet the requirement, however, are viewed as a compliance box ticked. In our webinar today, we'll share thinking about the benefits and disbenefits of single pane strategies, how priorities may change with responsibility for securing macOS, the delicate balance between security and cost, and how Jamf can assist with both security of macOS and all of your other management of Apple devices in the enterprise. My name is Mark Walker and I'm the Security Solutions Lead here at Jamf for EMEA. I work with Apple, our channel partners and all of our own sales teams in the region, and it's my real pleasure to be here with you today. So to kick off, many organisations around the world, probably your own included, have been around for a while and have built up a considerable industry and organisational experience in the management of IT in the enterprise. Some of these organisations might be Apple only, but a considerable amount are mixed estates. That is, they have a technology deployment that consists of a number of endpoint operating systems, and typically we see this divided into Microsoft and Apple. In these organisations, it's also quite common to see a dedicated team who have the responsibility for digital security and who work alongside workplace teams who have responsibility for the delivery of endpoint device-related services. And so it's fair to say that for many, there is a significant amount of knowledge around security, threats, tactics, and mitigating actions. But does your organisation really understand Mac security? My background is in enterprise IT. Before Jamf, I was responsible for an estate of around 6,000 endpoints. So I understand very clearly that the single pane of glass model is well established in the enterprise for a number of key reasons. And these include the ability to support different technology platforms. In the diagram here, we can see a representation of a security solution that's being used with both Windows and Mac endpoints. And with IT teams being stretched for resource, it's a key benefit if all platforms can be managed using one interface. The ability to produce centralized reporting. Nobody wants to spend the time collating data from different systems, only then to have to manually assemble it using yet more tools. With a single solution, there's also a reduced burden on IT staff to understand the nuances of different solutions. And very much in keeping with this, organisations are able to maximise the benefit of their existing understanding of their tool of choice. And finally, of course, there's the economies of scale argument. Quite clearly, vendors of solutions will provide discounts at quantity tiers, so there is financial benefit to a single pane of glass. This thinking is well established and has been the status quo for senior leaders in IT security for a long time. With the increasing prevalence of Mac in the workplace, at Jamf we've taken a while to sit and understand this thinking and how, with the introduction of modern operating systems into the enterprise, such as macOS, the landscape is changing. In the same way that consumer technology and online vendors have revolutionized how consumers think about shopping, the introduction of Apple technology into the workplace brings about a change to how security may be managed for best effect. And with this, we realise that actually a single pane of glass might no longer be the optimal way forward for organisations with multiple technology strategies. Because technology stacks are so entirely different, single solutions tend to become best effort solutions, neither understanding nor catering to the individual strengths of the supported operating systems. And because these technologies are so diverse, what we also see happening is that detections become too vague and potentially misleading. For example, Windows malware files which are present on a Mac computer can't infect that computer. Therefore, whilst removing these files may be important, this should not be identified as an infection. A solution from a single provider also gives organizations no ability to correlate malware behavior. A false positive, or even a truly positive result, only has a certain value if it's not able to be correlated and backed up by a wider body of evidence. By using a single solution provider, organizations are essentially placing 100% trust and confidence that this supplier will keep their organization safe. Yet no provider of solutions will offer this under SLA. And because the industry is now well established, the benefits gained from learning on one solution are in fact not wasted if an organization chooses to use more than one security solution. Security knowledge and concepts are now well recognized, with certifications such as Certified Ethical Hacker and Certified Information System Security Professional being commonplace. And finally, by using a single solution, organizations are effectively putting all of their security eggs in one basket. There's a well-known phrase that good security is like an onion in that it has layers. And this seems directly contradictory to managing all technology platforms with a single security solution. Moving forward, and just to further emphasize our reasons for thinking about why the single pane of glass should be shattered, different technologies have very unique provisioning workflows. Windows computers are very well catered for in an environment that would usually include Active Directory and potentially some elements of the System Center stack. In contrast, Mac computers are equally well catered for, but by using different tools, including Apple Business or School Manager, automated device enrollment, and the MDM framework. If we look at Windows and Mac, as these are the most common operating systems, we see that there are also entirely different security tools in use. If we consider, for example, Windows BitLocker and Apple's File Vault, there are similarities between the two, but there are also distinct differences. The privacy stance of both these operating systems is equally different. Apple places a very high bar on user privacy. For instance, macOS very rarely sends user data out to the cloud for analysis. And when it does store data on the local device, it's encrypted in such a way that neither Apple nor third parties can access it. Windows, conversely, has had a rough ride in regard to privacy, particularly in Europe. Privacy settings are many, however, they're notionally overly complex, and there is little transparency about where data sometimes goes or how it's used. Security architecture is very different too. Aside from the differing file structures, disk and volume formats, and the variety of OS-specific tools that are included out of the box, there are physical differences. This is well demonstrated by the very well discussed differences between the TPM chipset used by Windows computers and the Apple T2 chip used by Macs. And finally, we all know very well that the cadence of upgrades and updates for different operating systems is impossible to synchronize. If you think about it, it's in an organization's best interests to upgrade their Mac estate as soon as possible in order to benefit from the latest Apple security features and updates. And a security vendor should definitely not deter this. So realistically, how can a security vendor ever possibly hope to keep up with the multiple and competing maintenance cycles that exist? So it becomes clear that in the endpoint security workspace, there are, in general, just a handful of key factors which influence the choice of toolset for organizations who use a variety of technologies such as Windows and Mac. And these are the cost, the level of administrative convenience for IT teams, and the overall level of security provided across the enterprise. So as organizations look at different security solutions, all of these factors vary and need to be weighted appropriately against each other to best suit your organization's security posture. At Jamf, we often hear about customers managing mixed estates with existing Windows First toolsets, or with products that are provided at a volume discount, or as part of a cloud-based productivity solution subscription. We would offer the thought that the balance of factors in these cases is not giving appropriate consideration to the security of customer Mac estates, nor, as a consequence, the implications for our customers if their Mac endpoints are not considered as important as their Windows counterparts. If you think about this, the reality is that Apple products, and Mac in particular, are becoming more prevalent in the workplace. And even if your organization is not following an Apple strategy yet, it's likely that you'll have devices including Mac in your executive suite, which means there's valuable data on them already, which in turn makes them a target for a cyber breach. What could be more important devices to protect? Modern thinking in adopting standardization across methodologies is that using toolsets from purpose-built security providers is a better way. Organizations can benefit in terms of their overall security posture and ability to provide assurance, as well as making sure that their users are having the best experience possible, whilst at the same time using the unique features of each operating system to provide the best overall outcome. After all, why invest strategically in both a Microsoft infrastructure stack and an Apple infrastructure stack, only then to potentially use suboptimal toolsets with them? At Jamf, we firmly believe that if you're implementing Apple technology in your workplace, then you should manage your infrastructure by ecosystem or by technology stack. In the diagram, we can see technology-specific solutions for both Windows and Mac in operation, with the endpoint devices reporting status back to their technology-specific solution, which will be catering to the strengths of that operating system. And if you require unified reporting, as many organizations naturally do, then you should consider utilizing a best-of-breed SIEM solution to provide this functionality. And that way you get the best of all worlds. To make this messaging more concise, what we're effectively saying here is, to get the best outcomes, you may wish to consider centralizing with purpose-built security solutions. The thinking here is that tools for security should connect the dots instead of hoping that a single pane of glass tool can do it all. And by using solutions that are open to wide integration, organizations can deliver on their IT strategies because they will be getting the most from their deployed technologies. Today, Jamf helps more than 40,000 organizations manage more than 17 million Apple devices, connect them to identity and account services, and protect computers as they power productivity around the world. There are 3 tiers to our Apple Enterprise Management approach, which are Connect, Manage, and Protect. With Jamf Connect, we deliver streamlined Mac authentication and identity management by leveraging a single cloud identity on any Apple device to gain immediate access to the resources you need. Within the Manage tier, Jamf offers the most comprehensive portfolio of Apple management products in the market. Jamf Now helps small and growing organizations manage their devices, while Jamf School helps educators spend less time managing technology and more time investing in their classrooms. Jamf Pro is the gold standard in Apple management and helps some of the largest and most successful companies on the planet oversee their Apple ecosystem. And finally, under the Protect tier, we have Jamf Protect. This is an endpoint security solution purpose-built for Mac that gives enterprise security teams unprecedented visibility into their entire fleet of macOS devices. With customized telemetry and on-device detections, Jamf Protect extends Apple's security and privacy model whilst upholding the Apple user experience. All of these solutions are delivered via Jamf Cloud, our global cloud platform that delivers resilient and reliable performance for your instances. And Jamf Cloud has regions around the world. And finally, we underpin all of this with Jamf Nation. Jamf Nation is the most popular community of Apple administrators on the planet. We believe that sometimes the greatest value comes from connecting with your peers, which is why Jamf Nation is free and open to everyone, even if you're not a Jamf customer. To summarise then, the key takeaways from today's session are to strike the right balance for your organisation between cost, convenience and security achieved. To use solutions that are the best for your technology investments and are open to integration. To manage security by ecosystem or technology stack. Apple and Microsoft are good at what they do, but in terms of a security solution, keep them separate, because Windows, macOS and other OSs have little in common. Keeping up with vendor updates is critical to security and productivity. Supporting new features is important in an Apple ecosystem. And industry stats show that the single pane simply doesn't work. If you'd like to find out more about Jamf Protect, our solution that is built exclusively for Mac, then please scan this QR code, which will take you to our Jamf website. And with that, all that remains is for me to thank you for your time today. I hope you've found some value in this presentation, and we look forward to working with you very soon. Thank you.